Welcome back, fellow land enthusiasts. This is Luke Smith of RealVacantLand.com, and I've got another property for you. Today we're looking at Mendocino County, California. I've got the cheapest property in Mendocino County, California, and I'm excited to show this one to you. So let's jump into it. Let's take a look at this property and see if this is the right one for you. This picture in the background is of the actual property. Property is actually just right over my shoulder here. And so this is an idea of the neighborhood and the trees and the nature in the area. So got it pulled up on the website. I think the most exciting part about this is the price. This is the cheapest one in the county. I'm going to jump into the market and show you the price. I don't know if I should show you the property first or the price first. Let's look at the property. So we got some pictures. I had a picture guy go out here and get some professional pictures of the property. He took his drone. He's got like 4 different drones. I don't know what you use all 4 of them for, but he goes and he loves it, right? So he has a lot of fun taking pictures. And here's a shot. Here's a power line that's in front of the property. Here's a bunch of trees that are on the property, and that's the actual land right down below. So here's a shot. I think this is the same shot or same kind of view as the one I was just showing you before. But right in the middle, that clump of trees that's in the middle, that's just next to the road. Let's see if I can, it goes off the screen, but by the time you'll get it. See if I can circle it here. This clump of trees, this is the property. So here's a neighbor, there's a neighbor here, there's neighbors on the other side, but this clump of trees, that'd be your clump of trees. Here's a shot at it from another angle. I believe this is looking north, and so here's the neighboring houses, and here's your clump of trees, a big chunk of woods here. So here's it looking west, I believe. So this chunk of trees, I think it's this whole chunk of trees. There might be, you might not own this little stretch over here, but we'll look at some other maps. I'm pretty sure it's at least this further chunk of trees, but maybe not these couple in the front. Now I don't know where I'm at. Oh, here we go. So here's, no, let's skip this picture. So here it is looking at it from the ground. These people have big decks. Everyone's got a big deck in this area. There's a house in the back. There's a house to the side. So they've got utilities. They've got it all set up. They figured it out. They're living there and loving it. We got some trees with some moss on the trees. We've got some things growing out of the ground. It's a lot of coniferous kinds of trees, some leafy trees and some pine style trees, different kinds of redwoods, cedar, I guess you could call them, different kinds of cedar, pine and cedar. So this is the kind of floor of the woods that's there, and this is just out in front of the property. I mean, this is looking back into the property. These would be your trees on the property. Let's see if we can get some different views. We'll try to go a little faster. There's a bunch of pictures of trees. There's a power line in the front. Here's a paved street in the front. And see if we can see some utilities. I'll try to point out some utilities on here as we go. So it looks like you could bust a driveway in here and build a house and be up over the road looking down at the road, not right in your face, but kind of up over. You could put some decks up there looking out over the area. So here we go. Here's the houses off to the distance and the little street that goes around. So here's the property. These woods here is the property. Yeah, there we go. So here's a cartoon of the lot line. So when we were looking at it from this way, you don't get the trees that are next to this house. There's some trees between that house and you, and you're over here. This house, these 2 houses would be your neighbors. There's a bunch of trees there. Most of these lots are 1/4 acre lots. This lot is a 1/2 acre lot. This is one of the biggest lots in the area, or the biggest lot in the area. So here's the different views of it. The lake's just around the corner. More trees, trees, trees. So if you want to go look at these pictures, please go to the link in the description below of this video, and it'll take you back to my website, and you can look at these pictures and you can study the pictures. And you can go out there. You can also watch these videos, these drone videos of the different drones flying around the property up and down and in and out. And you can see it from a bunch of different angles without actually going there. I mean, feel free to go there and tour the property and check it out, but a bunch of video and pictures to look at it from home too. Like, 15 of them or something. So I've got a interactive map here you can look at as well. So this is the property. There's the lot lines. This is a cartoon of the lot lines. This isn't like your exacto, like still want to use a surveyor before you build, but this shows you where the lot lines generally are to be able to shop the property. We'll zoom in. I'll do street view, see if we can drive around, take a look at this. Looks like the neighbor might have is that trampoline or a pool? They probably have kids if that's a trampoline. But again, the power line's right there. There's water in the street, there's sewer in the street, and then the power line's right in the front of the lot, so you can't miss it. So the utilities are definitely there. So let's drop the little camera guy in there. I wanted to show you. Let's look at the neighbor first. So here's the intersection. This is Camellia Drive, and if we go right past the property, we get to Camellia and whatever the street's called. But it looks like the neighbors are doing a driveway off of this street to get back into the property, and they've got, they're cutting their lawn, taking care of the property. Got some nice big decks up there. I always like big decks like this. It reminds me of where I grew up in northern Michigan. People build big decks like this to look out at the woods or look out at the lake. You don't see that so much in Southern California, or maybe I'm just in the wrong neighborhoods. I don't know. But there's stormwater collection, so they're taking care of this. There's the paved street, and I'm sure there's manhole covers in the street somewhere. If we look, that might be one right there. But this would be the property. So here's the woods. This would be your woods. That'd be the neighbor's property. But this way would be your woods, your property. You could go for it. You could probably put a driveway right in there, that side or that side. Probably be easier than going where the power pole is. This is called Camellia Drive, and this looks like the pictures we just showed you. The same trees, the same look and feel. Let's go back a hair. There's a manhole cover. So there's a sewer cover, and you can see that right there in the street that there's sewer. It costs some money to hook up in the sewer here in the water. Here's the water. Here's a fire hydrant at the corner. So your insurance company, when you go build, they'll ask how far away is a fire hydrant, when you're getting an insurance quote, and be like, well, it's one lot over. It's just a couple hundred feet down the fire hydrant's right there. So that's good to know. This is a fire prone area, so it's good to have fire hydrants around. But there's water in the street too, so you can hook up to water just like these guys have done. They charge some money. They have some capacity fees, I think they call it, if I remember it right. So the capacity fees are helping them pay back the construction cost of putting these utilities in. And so what I'm doing here is I'm just driving around the neighborhood. You can see what kinds of houses these other people are building here. It looks like they're using satellite dishes for TV and internet. Looks like people are using trash cans. The trash trucks coming through. Looks like they're doing trash and recycling. Some more big decks. I love these big decks, right? Okay, so back to utilities. So they're doing utilities. The utilities are there, and you got to pay. And this neighborhood, they charge these fees for building out the utilities back in the day when they built out the utilities. I don't know, in the 60s or something. Maybe it was even the 50s. And they charge, so between the water, power, and sewer, I think you're at 33 grand. So it's a little over 10 grand each. And but then it's done. You don't have to build it. You don't have to maintain it. You don't have to take care of it. You just pay them, and then you get it going. And you pay them fees along the way to keep the water flowing, keep the sewer going, and keep the power coming, right? But that's just the way it is. So if you want to build in this neighborhood, think about those fees. 33 grand. That's why a lot of this stuff's pretty cheap in this neighborhood, because you gotta pay for utilities. But I mean, it's those same kinds of utility costs are in lots of places. If you go hook up to the utilities, you're paying those kinds of fees in lots of other places too. So they also require you to build at least 1,000 square foot home. They want you to build it there they want you to build it on site. They don't want you to bring in a mobile home. So, and they have I was gonna say a realtor, but they have a architect on staff. He's available every Thursday afternoon. Bob Axe. I got his phone number in the ad. I got his contact information there, and he'll help you get the paperwork ready for the county. So I think he charges like $200, and he wants to see your plans. $200 doesn't buy you plans. You still got to go get plans. There's a bunch of websites you can get plans, or go hire somebody to draw up plans of your dreams. You just get some off-the-shelf plans. Say, hey, here's the plans. And go, and he'll keep a set of plans, and you can take those plans to the county. And I think the county wants, I think it's 6 sets of plans for the different departments of the county. But the architect guy says he can turn around in like 2 weeks is what he's good at if the plans are ready to go. And then the county says the same thing. They're like a week, maybe 2 weeks. They can turn it around. Last time I was talking to them. So literally in a month from buying the property and having the plans in hand, you could be breaking ground on this property. So part of that is paying the fees to get the utilities set up. But that's why I got this on the screen. So this house over here, this kind of looks like an A-frame / gable, like they did almost an A-frame, but they did a gable kind of action to it. It's a really creative kind of house. I mean, it's cheap, fast one to slap up, and you just make you make the trusses and you stand them up, right? And then you put a whole bunch of roofing on there. They go a lot faster and a lot cheaper than lots of classic houses. I mean, you give up some use with the way the roof is angled, and you give up some windows and stuff, but I mean, that's really fast and easy to put up a house like that. And so that gives you an idea of what kinds of guidelines the architect is looking for in this neighborhood. If you can build these kinds of houses, I think you can get away with lots of stuff. They've got a propane tank in their front yard, and lots of the neighborhood has a propane tank. So you could do a mixture of electricity and gas, use propane for your clothes dryer and, your stove and stuff like that. Try to save on some electricity costs. So I drove up around back behind the property and the street behind while we were talking, and it looks like they're doing some gardening and stuff up here in these people's front yard, and they got the fence out and things. But the camera doesn't go all the way to the end of the street. I was hoping it went all the way to the end of the street, but it doesn't go to the end of the street. But I think we can still see behind this house and down here, because these would be your neighbors up behind you. But through here, this woods over here and down that way, that'd be your woods. So this would be behind you, and the property would be over there. So if we look at it again, it's kind of a fuzzy. So we drove up this street around and back behind, and I think it goes a little further, but we only got up to here. So we were looking down in here and looking at the house. So that house with the gable, I think, is right up here, if I'm not mistaken, the gable roof. So that would be your set of woods, and that's kind of what the neighbors look like going around the block, if you will. Okay, so enough of showing you about the property. You got to go look at it and feel it, go see what it is. I want to look at the market, but first we got buy it now. You can click on that if you want to buy it. Their price $4,499. It's a half an acre. No other fees. Property taxes are about $254 a year is what they've been. Elevation's like 1,800 foot. I got GPS in here twice, but you get the idea. So if you click on that GPS in your phone, it'll give you driving directions to the property. So if you pull this ad up in your phone, click on that GPS, Google or Siri or whoever will say, turn here, turn there, so many hours, so many minutes, whatever, until you get to the property and go look at it. So you don't have to call for directions. Just click on it, go there and look at it, and let me know if you want to buy it. I mean, or you just click the button while you're standing there on the property. Just click that buy it now button and fill out your information. It'll start asking you about what name you want to own the property in, and where do you want the future tax bills sent, that kind of stuff. It's really simple. Got it boiled down to the least possible bureaucracy we can get away with, right? So, okay, $4,499. So I got this pulled up on Zillow, and so I've got all the for sale, just land. I got it, just land, not houses, just lots and land. I mean, it's not like the houses are going to be cheaper than this, but you know what I mean. Just lots and land on Zillow for sale in the whole county, Mendocino County. So we're looking at the whole county, not just a little area, but the whole county. I'm not going to do the state because there's cheaper ones than this in the state, like out in the deserts and stuff. But in Mendocino County, this is the cheapest one in Mendocino County. So you come up from the Bay Area and you go in, and where's Brook Trails? Up right here. Brook Trails, Willett. So there's a bunch of them for sale in this neighborhood. This neighborhood is the cheapest in the county, and that's where this property is. People are asking like 40 grand and stuff, 139, 50, 16. And some of them are dreaming. Some of them are more realistic, like 6 grand. So here on the side of the screen, you start seeing the cheapest ones in the county. And they're still the same if we did the whole county, because the cheapest ones are in this neighborhood because of the fees of hooking the utilities up and the scare of water in the past. If I haven't told you about this neighborhood, there was a scare in the past about water because the state owns the water, and they dole out water allocations as people build houses, and depending on how much infrastructure is available to support that water allocation. And so we were in a major drought in the past, And they said there's no more infrastructure to support the amount of water. We can't promise this much water. We're over promising water. We can't deliver it all. That's what the state was saying. So they said no more water allocations, and so prices in the neighborhood fell off a cliff because people that had land were, betting that they could get a water allocation to build on their land. And the state said we need more infrastructure, and the neighborhood said we don't have the money to build the infrastructure. How are we going to build more infrastructure? And the state gave them a grant. So they got a grant to add on, and I think they cobbled some money together, and they increased one of the dams by a couple feet. They made it taller, and they got more infrastructure, more water capacity, deliver more water. And they started saying, the drought went away, and they started saying, okay, this is we've got more room to issue more water allocation. So the green light's back on. You can build again in this neighborhood. So once you get your allocation, they don't take it away. You just got to go build and make it happen. So that was 6 years. I think it was 6 years, maybe 7 years. It went without any water allocation. So a lot of people stopped paying their taxes, and they stopped caring about these properties. They said, why am I going to take care of a property here if I can't build? And so property prices dove. They went from $40, $50, $100,000 lots to nothing. Now they've bounced off the bottom. They start coming back around now that they're green lighted again. I've been selling a couple of them here. I had a bunch of them. Now I only have a couple left. So let's look at the market. Zillow. The people that have been buying them are people that live there, people that know the neighborhood, know the regulations. They're the ones that are collecting them right now, not so much the outsiders. But I think later on the outsiders will come in and start going for it. So here is the market. The cheapest one on the market that's showing right now is $4,688. And it says it's been on there for 300 days. I don't know what the heck's wrong with that. That's probably bad data. 300 days on the market? Maybe they don't answer the phone. I don't know. I can't even tell where it is. Maybe it's on Ponderosa Road. I don't know. But mine's cheaper. $4,499. So it's a couple bucks cheaper. This is 8,000 square foot. So that's like a fifth of an acre or something. An eighth of an acre. Mine is a half of an acre. So this one's much smaller and a couple $100 more. And you probably have to go through a realtor and pay fees and stuff on top of it. The next cheapest one in the neighborhood came up for sale an hour ago. I just changed my pricing according to this one. This one wasn't there when I was first looking at it. So this one just came up. Let's see. So this is like a quarter of an acre-ish, almost 0.22, 0.23 or whatever. And you got to pay a realtor. So, and it's higher price than mine. And you got to pay a realtor, and it's half the size. I don't have any pictures or video, or like, maybe it's on, can't even really tell what street it's on. And then there's this one I just lowered the price on. It's got real pictures, it's got video. Hopefully I answer the phone if you call. So this is the same one. I just lowered the price. And then 55, that's someone else. 50, I think this is another one. I just changed it. That one's actually sold. So some of these other ones in here, I got to mark sold. So a bunch of these are my properties. Like this is another one of my properties. I think that one's sold too. So a lot of these other ones in that first page, the cheapest ones are my other properties. But this one, I just dropped the price on it, $4,499. That makes it the cheapest one in the county, in the neighborhood, in the area. The largest size, it's like double the size of the next cheapest ones. So double the size and cheaper than the cheapest stuff in the market. So let's go back to the property, $4,499. And yeah, you just got to go look at this thing. Go take a look at it. See if this is the right one for you. If you're living in the area, point it out to your cousins, your brothers, your whoever you think should move to the area. You know the history of the neighborhood. You know how much it costs. You know what it takes. And yeah, I'm trying to reach out to you guys, the locals that are buying these. Buy it. Go make it happen. Go build something. Or if you're inclined coming from the other side of the country or the Bay Area or wherever, you could go build a second home here in California. And the prices don't look like California. So buy it. I'll do the paperwork, move it into your name, and go enjoy the property. This is Luke Smith, ruralvacantland.com. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.